First off, thanks for having me. Really excited to be here. Appreciate everybody being here today. Kansas City, last time I was here, obviously it was a special moment for our team and our program and our seniors. And the one exciting thing now is all those seniors are off and doing extremely well from our last 2 years, and it's been a great 2 years. And now moving on to year 3, we've got a brand new group. We've got 8 new guys that were in the program now. We've got 3 returners, Nick Weiler-Babb, Donovan Jackson, and Solomon Young, that are back and that need to be big in a leadership role, in a on-the-floor coaching role to help some of these young and new faces that we have. We've got some young guys, but we also have some old guys, some fifth-year transfers. But I think the biggest thing with our team right now is not getting caught up in a lot of hype, but just getting to work and work every day and slowly building the foundation of becoming a really good basketball team. And you do that by getting in the gym and working and watching tape and individual workouts and attention to detail. And, the one thing that, people kind of harp on right now is being picked 9th. But, I think a lot of that stuff is just you base that off of who's returning. And so no one's really seen these 3 guys play extended major roles. If you go back and look at the West Virginia game here and the championship game, those 3 guys were really instrumental in our success that night. If you look at the turnaround with our team last year, I think Solomon Young played a huge role in that. And so I'm going to lean on those 3 guys. We met all summer long, once a week, to really just establish, leadership, from those guys and to be player-driven. Because I think if you're going to be very good, it's got to be, the players have to be invested and it has to be player-led. And then the coach, is behind them, kind of pushing the buttons. But I'm excited about this opportunity this year. Obviously, I think it's a team that's going to get better from September to October to November and then on into Big 12 play. And then I think we've got a great opportunity with a great road environment to go to Missouri, on national television and play in what's game's going to have a lot of hype to it with Coach Martin's first game and the Porter's first game and Tillman's first game. And so no better opportunity than to really find out where we're at as a team and then win or lose what we have to do to get better, from that point on. And then we go right away from there to Puerto Rico, to the ESPN Puerto Rico tournament, which moved to Myrtle Beach. But we go there, and we've got a great feel with 3 games in 4 days there. But I'll open up to questions, but really looking forward to coaching this team and getting better throughout the season.
Okay, questions for Coach. We got a question on the left rear.
Hey, Steve, Brian Hamilton from the Fieldhouse. What is the next step basketball-wise for Solomon? What's on his checklist?
I think the biggest thing, it's twofold. I think don't forget what you're about, because I think if you watched him play last year, whether it was at Kansas or whether it was here at the Big 12 tournament, he had a toughness and a motor about him that he made all big plays. His ball screen defense was terrific. His help side defense was terrific. He rebounded. He ran the floor. Don't get away from any of that. We've got to have that and more on that end. But hopefully we can expand his game offensively to where, we can throw it inside, and if he's not a back-to-the-basket guy, so to speak, to catch and face and drive bigger guys. And then the opportunity to, play off ball screens and pick and pop and make a 3 or a 17-footer, because that position, that 4 spot or 4-5, whatever you want to call it, has been very instrumental in our style of play the last couple of years and really at Iowa State for the last, 5 or 6 years. But, hopefully he can take a bigger step offensively without losing, what I think is his core, and that's toughness and blue-collar work.
Question on the rear, and then we'll move over to the inside.
Jeff Borzello, ESPN. Steve, how has Lindell Wigginton looked early? Obviously, he's got big shoes to fill, but he was a super talented kid. So how's he been looking?
I think he's been good. We scrimmaged Saturday. We had a second inter-squad scrimmage Saturday, and I thought he was really good. We played 3 10-minute segments. His first 10 minutes, I thought he was terrific. But I think as any freshman, He has really good days where you walk out of the gym and you're like, golly, Lindell was great today. And then you have days you walk out of the gym and you say, man, I need to meet with Lindell and keep him mentally into it, because I think the toughest position in basketball to play, especially as a freshman, is the point guard position. You're usually defending. You've got to defend one of the elite players. I mean, you take, for instance, last year in our league, defending the point guard position is brutal, 1 through probably 8 or 9 in our league last year. So you've got to be great defensively from a game plan standpoint and from an on-the-ball and help side. And then offensively, we want that point guard position to score, but you also have to facilitate as well. And our assisted turnover numbers have been so good that we've got to make sure we're making good decisions. So I think he's really talented. I don't want to put the hype train and everything and put on, overdo the expectations. I think he's got a chance to do some really special things at Iowa State, but I just want to take it day at a time. And people want to compare Monte or the last point guard or other point guards I've coached. I just want Lindell to max Lindell out, and if he does that, we'll be in a really good place.
Question in the middle on the aisle.
Kevin Haskin, Topeka Capital Journal. Can you talk about Nick Weiler-Babb and what he has to do to expand his game this year?
I think Nick, first and foremost, he's a guy that has been around this program for a long time with his brother playing here, Chris, for being a red shirt my first year. The biggest thing that he can provide, because his IQ for the game is so good, is being a coach on the floor. Whether that he's handling the ball at the point or he's playing the 3 or the 2, whatever position on the perimeter, he knows what everybody should be doing offensively and defensively 1 through 5. So we need his coaching ability on the floor to make sure people are in the right spots with some of our youth. Second thing is, I think with his size and athleticism, he can be a really good defender. And then offensively, I think he can really facilitate. The one thing I would like to see more from him, and I think he knows that, is offensively of really looking to score and put pressure on the defense, whether that's from paint touches or that's from 3.
Got a question on the aisle on the right-hand side?
Blair Kirkhoff with the Kansas City Star. Have you had to spend any time managing the perception of your team to your players? I mean, you are picked low this year, and that's different for an Iowa State team.
We haven't talked about it. I was just talking with our media about it. I'm not too big of a hype guy from a standpoint, and I'm going to plaster it all over the, locker room. And nobody has seen these guys, in a different role. And so you can't prejudge anybody until you really see what they can do. And so I'm excited about the opportunity to really, challenge and figure out how to make this team great. I think as a coach and as a player, this is a great challenge for us, and that's what you want as a competitor. But we haven't. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big hype guy. I think substance wins over hype. Are we doing the right thing every day? Are we getting better? And if we do that, good things will happen. And, the preseason poll is for media day, and then the work begins.
Got time for one more question for Coach. Nobody wants to ask the last one? Okay, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys. Thanks.